Dude, at this point, going to restaurants is basically just saying which restaurant cooks Sysco the best.
I got asked why I no longer do food review.
People just now finding out that like all appetizers are just from Sysco. I've worked in probably 15 different restaurants and I've seen the same boxes at every one of them. Different states, doesn't matter. It doesn't explicitly say on the menu like cheese from this farm, greens from this farm, from this place. If it's not being advertised that it's local, it's probably from Gordon Foods, Sysco, Chef's Warehouse, Restaurant Depot, one of the things. Not just fried apps, which are definitely the most common things that are bought through Sysco, but desserts, because they don't want to pay for a pastry chef, breads, because they don't want to pay for a baker. Also, a lot of soups, sauces, ranch bases, pretty much anything that they can cheap out on, they will cheap out on. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It would be nice if restaurants had all this kind of money to spend on local farms and support their local economy. And, you know, we all eat really great food from these local farms, but a good chef knows how to take cheap ingredients, turn them into something good, or you can use the cheap ingredients and highlight something better, save your money in certain places in order to buy something really good, really ethical, and really delicious. But it's the unfortunate truth of the restaurant industry. Same thing for bartending. A lot of places use mixes that are all from the same place, all gonna taste the same.
It is not just casual dining like the Applebee's, the Chili's, the Lazy Dogs, the whatever restaurants exist like Subway, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Whataburger even. It's not just those or In-N-Out or whoever. Again, it is fine dining as well. Yes, fine dining and even country clubs. People ask me, well, why don't you do food review anymore if you were doing it? All the food is from the same place. And I did a video a few weeks ago, not knowing this was not well-known information, because when I come to you, I'm more like, oh yeah, this is this. I'm not, and this is why I don't teach, because I'm under the impression that you have an awareness and you understand that certain things in our society happen when you don't. And that's where I'm just sitting here like, oh, you didn't know that. And it's not like, oh, you didn't know that like a jab. It's, I didn't know you didn't know this. This is why I was having that rant about why do you have food influencers right now? They're just telling you the same thing over and over. None of this makes sense to me. Because yes, they have Wagyu beef, they have Chilean sea bass. I mean everything. They have gaming meat. Yes, they have it all. So even if you are at a place and you're dropping $200-300 and they're not stating the farm it came from, they have one of these vendors. That's how you know it's not worth the price. That is why you have seen me cook more, because I had a paternal grandmother. I don't have a lot of blessings from childhood, but this woman raised me and she cooked from scratch every day. She did have a full-time job. So when you say you don't have time, you do. I remember having a full-time job, still going to local farmers and meeting them at the farmers market to literally pick up eggs or get a farmer who had, you can buy a whole cow for the year and put it in a freezer. There are so many things that you should be doing that people, you're like, well, why is the food so expensive now? 26 years ago was the 90s. And majority of people knew how to cook. And I don't mean just cook out of a box. I do mean cook. So with that being said, now that you don't know how to cook, you're relying on these people, and this is why you need this skill, because you can stay home and cook it better. I was at a restaurant and they ran out of macaroni. How do you run out of cheese, butter, water, and noodles? They don't, because it's pre-made. So with that being said, obviously I went home and made my own and added some cream cheese. Like, I know how to do these things. And when you know how to do something, people can't just, oh, well, this and that. So when I review somewhere, I literally know this came out of a box versus a fishery or a farm, because I grew up being exposed to fisheries and literal farms. That's how it is to be, I guess, essentially country, but now it's called organic or farm to table because it's been gentrified. And that's weird.